Welcome everybody to the Scale Up Show. This is your host, Ryan Staley, and I have a very special guest with me today. I have Jason Chicola. Jason is a gig economy pioneer turned voice AI entrepreneur who's the founder and CEO of Rev. His mission is to improve the way millions of people around the world understand human voice by leveraging Rev's AI voice platform. Jason, welcome. Happy to have you on the show, man.
Hey, Ryan, thanks a lot. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, man, because like your tool was one of the first AI tools that I ever used before AI was even sexy, I think, right? And it was probably under the covers. But would like to kind of start off getting a background about you, because your background is super interesting of how you've changed and adapted yourself with the time. So like, why don't you walk us through that? Like, but before we kind of start there, like give us a background of where you guys are at in terms of the stage of the revenue journey. So where are you guys at from a revenue perspective?
So I'll give a couple of facts around that. We don't disclose revenue, but I'll give you some data points to help you triangulate. We've raised $30 million of venture capital. We have now about 140 employees. We've been profitable for a couple of years. And, so we're definitely, growth stage kind of company. We just launched our most biggest new product ever, a SaaS platform called VoiceHub, which we'll tell you about later. And we're really happy to be here with your audience.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a perfect analysis. And can you give us like in 2 sentences what VoiceHub does exactly, just so we have some context to that?
VoiceHub is the single secure place for your most important recordings. Helps you get everything transcript, summarized, and analyzed using the most powerful LLMs. And we can even go beyond summarization to helping you develop custom and personal prompts. So we bring LLMs into the platform. We link LLMs to your conversations to help you do more. And we have great tools for reporters, lawyers, folks in many professions to make them more productive.
Okay. Love that, man. So how did you get here? Like you started more on the gig side, the gig economy side, right? And helping folks capitalize on that. Like how did you evolve into being an AI tech CEO from that? Would love to hear your journey and just kind of walk us through, some of the unique experiences you had along the way.
It's crazy how much the world changed. I got to college in 1996, which was at the dawn of the internet era. And I can remember the first time I used, Yahoo or later Google, and what that sort of did, what opportunity that opened up. So I kind of spent the first wave of my entrepreneurship career focused on marketplaces, labor marketplaces, which I'll tell you about why I'm passionate about them. But now we're sitting at the beginning of the dawning of the AI era. And so Rev and Jason, we're reinventing ourselves to solve bigger problems for the world that's ahead of us, not the world that's behind us. My kind of journey into technology started when in 2004, I met the founder of a company that became Upwork. Upwork today is a public company. It's the most well-known platform for a marketplace for freelance labor. It's a place you can go to hire a programmer, a designer, data entry person. It can be anywhere in the world. And Upwork, long before remote work became popular during COVID, Upwork, the idea was there's talent all over the planet. And if you can connect people that want a job, people that want to hire someone, and you can do so through the internet, you can help both sides a lot. And, Upwork was modeled off of eBay. We actually raised money from the same venture capital firm, Benchmark, that funded eBay. And when we raised money from them, we said, hey, eBay is a marketplace for goods. Upwork's a marketplace for services. And that was kind of the initial concept, which has largely worked out. What I saw from that was a number of things. I saw that if you could get a large community of people that work on a platform, and if you treated the freelancers well, if they liked the platform, you could over time build a better place for businesses. The funny thing about a labor business is a labor marketplace business. It's really about having the best talent and making that talent easy to find, easy to access. And so that was the approach we used at Upwork, which worked, like I said, pretty well. And when I wanted to start what became Rev, I took a similar tack and said, hey, remote work is in its infancy. It's going to become big in my lifetime. What are all the jobs that are going to go remote? Let me look at jobs that we can transform with technology. The Achilles heel of a model like Upwork, which is very horizontal, when you offer every service, you can't do any of them all that well. You can't specialize in having the best programmers. In a marketplace like eBay or Upwork, there's kind of this principle of caveat emptor, buyer beware. Good luck finding the right person. They may or may not be great. you have to vet that yourself. My belief was for remote work to really become mainstream, a platform needed to guarantee quality and provide an assurance to the customer that you're going to get a good job. And to do that, you need to vet the talent. You need to have high standards of quality. You need to have software and automations to make the job both more efficient as well as find ways to detect errors in quality. And so we've taken that approach to say, anything we do at Rev, we want to do a great job. We want to delight the customers. And we experimented with a couple of different kinds of work, and we really found our stride in what I would call speech to text services. So the 3 marketplaces that we built are all taking speech as an input, audio or video data, and the output is text. And those services are audio transcription, closed captioning, and foreign subtitles on videos. And we launched and built this marketplace, I would say, before the era of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then to kind of bring into the present, to fast forward, by 2017, we could see the relevant AI, which in our world is speech recognition or AI models that convert audio to text. They were really lousy early on. They were still pretty lousy in 2017. But I talked to experts, talked to a bunch of people with PhDs, and what I determined was to make an AI model, you need 3 things. You need computers, chips. You need algorithms, which are made by geniuses in colleges with a lot of math formulas, and you need data. But we had a lot of data. So we used our data from all these conversations, and we built our own ASR models. That is a speech model often called ASR, automatic speech recognition. And within a year and a half, we were outperforming Google and everybody else on accuracy, because when you transcribe millions of conversations with every accent under the sun in a real world environment, what that does is that trains the speech engine to listen and hear the nuances of speech. And so that kind of kicked off our second chapter, which is to reinvent ourselves by delivering the best quality speech recognition to people that really care about accuracy. And that's been the basis for our new platform, which for the first time, we now have a freemium model where anybody can for free go to rev.com and get the most accurate speech recognition in their meetings, in their mobile recordings and phone calls and YouTube videos, anything they want. And beyond that, for really important content, like for a trial for a lawyer, you can, of course, upgrade and pay to have a human transcribe it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, well, first of all, props to you for seeing that in 2017 that you're going to need to make a pivot. By the way, your timeline with college matches mine. So we've been through a lot of technical changes, man, from like, I remember when email first came out, I'm like, oh, this, like, and I was in college, right? This is college, Ryan, but this is Ryan's thoughts of like, this is pretty cool. I could talk to ladies this way over email and whatnot. Like, so then we had the iPhone, the iPod, right? Then we went through the internet and social media, and then now we're going through the AI wave. So props to you from getting the insight, I should say, in 2017 that you needed to start to move towards this, which I think is great. And it's like super timely too, because OpenAI, as we're recording this, advanced voice model is getting released to the masses this week. And, that was one of the things we talked about on the pre-show. So talk me through a little bit about like how you're different than an LLM like voice model like that. And then like why that's so important for what you're doing and generating real business results. Cause I would love to hear your perspective on
that. We think LLMs are just this tremendous breakthrough that's creating more productivity for people every single day. And we thought long and hard about how do we give our users the most value. And as we were building a new platform, we spoke to some of our most tech-savvy customers, and they were taking our transcripts, pumping them into ChatGPT, and then asking it prompts until they got what they needed. And what we realized is that prompt engineering is pretty hard. Some people are experts at it, most people aren't. And so what we've done is to say, let's bring the power of large language models and link it to your conversations and your memories. And so we view these tools as turbochargers. So if you get a free Rev account, you're basically getting access to 10 different large language models, OpenAI, Gemini, and 9 others. And what we do is we give you custom summaries and insights on each and every one of your conversations, that if in the more in the higher level plans or enterprise plans, you can then tune and tailor for your business needs. But I mean, to give you an example of where that plays out, if I'm uh, we do a lot of work with journalists, right? People that write the news. And um, if I'm a reporter, I don't do a lot of business meetings, but I do a lot of interviews with subjects. And I want to pull out the punchy quotes, right? Or I may be going to a conference and there may be 8 sessions and I couldn't attend any of them. And I want to figure out what happened. And I want to go and drill in to see when did the themes come up that I'm looking for. And so today, in the absence of Rev, folks are scrambling on YouTube to find videos, going to ChatGPT, asking all the questions. What we help them do is define a handful of custom or standard prompts that they can use, and we bring the LLMs to the conversations to save them time.
Okay. Love that. So it's almost like a centralized feed for all voice for that job specific function, right? Like, okay.
That's right. That's right.
Cool.
Exactly. And a lawyer cares about different things, just like, a sales leader cares about a third set of things, right? Each person uses, like, everybody uses ChatGPT in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So the ideal prompts for a reporter, a lawyer, or a sales leader are going to be different, right? And we help you define the prompts that will make you better at your job.
Yeah, that's so critical, the contextual awareness. I mean, like, I don't know, did you hear about like how Chevron rolled out like 24,000 seats of Microsoft Copilot? Did you hear about this at all or no?
No, tell me.
No. Okay, so this this is crazy, man. So they rolled out like 24,000 seats, and those are like $30 a month, right? Now probably a discount for 24,000 seats, but that's a good chunk of change, man. So the CIO is just like, yeah, I don't know if there's an ROI or not, and and like the core thesis of it is, or my core thesis of it, I should say, is basically what you just said, right? If you don't educate people on how to use it for their job specific function, you're not going to realize an ROI with what you're doing. And it sounds like that's what you're doing in your platform, making it in there, baking it in there. So it's super easy for people to actuate it. Would you say that's like a good kind of summary of it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe a crude way to say it is you got to dumb things down, but here's a more nuanced way to say it. Yesterday I spoke to a gentleman that runs a law firm, and his law firm takes tons of phone calls from the general public, and people are calling to see do I have a case. And he's an expert in ChatGPT. He's the only one in his company that is, right? And so if you ask everyone in the company to come up with their own prompts, it's going to be a mess. You're not going to get the value. What would make more sense is to say, if I get 1,000 inbound calls a month, let me define one template and standard that's good for those calls. It pulls out exactly what I need, and it's specific to me, given my practice areas. Then it's like you write the prompt once, apply it 1,000 times. First write it 1,000 times, and have it be screwed up most of the time.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, we're almost up on time for this episode, part 1, right? But where do you think the future of voice or AI voice, kind of related to what you're doing, is heading? And like, because we've made so much progression, so much progress, so much advancement. I mean, Jensen Huang at Dreamforce was saying we're on Moore's squared right now in terms of the technology advancement. So like, what would you say, Moore's law squared, where would you say it's kind of heading over the next 1 to 3 years? And then what are you most excited about?
There's so many changes in the AI wave. I'll just address maybe one that's really central to voice, which is people are building new habits where they're figuring out, what do I record or what do I not record? And I think there's 2 different levels of that. The first level is social etiquette. Social etiquette is, I don't wear Google Glass. I don't wear a pin to record people without their knowledge. I think you got to be really above board, proactive, and saying, hey, do you mind if I record this meeting so I have notes and I'll share it with you later? So I think the first step towards making voice data really powerful is having good etiquette about where to record and where not to record. And then, so that way everybody's comfortable with it. But once you do that, you can unlock much deeper insights. And that's where I don't think anybody's going there. How can you connect the dots across your life so that you know what's going on with your client, what's going on in your business, what are the things you said you would do but didn't? And I think that as people figure out efficient ways, both technologically efficiently and then socially friendly ways to capture more voice data, it's going to unlock a lot of new capabilities for people.
Okay. I love that you have the socially acceptable etiquette included in there, because most people are ignoring that right now, especially with folks that are trying to create pins to record people without their permission, I think is ridiculous. So
Totally. And I mean, I'm not trying to diss anybody, but if you recall, did you remember what was the nickname for people that wore the glasses? Do you remember?
no, what was it? I didn't hear it.
Glass holes,
That's
right?
awesome.
Because if I walk up to you and I'm recording you and I haven't asked you permission, how do you feel about that, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have wiretap laws for a reason, right? So if you walk around with a pin, I think that's pretty hard to square with the society, as I understand it, as to what normal etiquette is, right? So I think it's really vital. We've taken a privacy first approach of saying, like, we're going to give you a tool to record what you want to record, and we're going to make it visible to everybody because we think the tool is very powerful, but you got to apply it, I think, ethically with ethics and etiquette.
Love that. All right. Well, we're going to wrap now, but we are going to go much deeper on this in part 2, specifically as it relates to like formulating your AI memory and how you can leverage that at scale. So, but before we do that, Jason, where can people find you? Where can they learn more about you and Rev?
You can find me on X at Jason Chicola, my full name spelled out. You can find Rev at rev.com. I'd encourage you to come and sign up for a free or paid account. Check it out. You can email me at jason@rev.com. I'd love to hear from your audience about what they took away, questions they have, or any feedback they have on our product.
Awesome, man. Well, this was a lot of fun. I look forward to part 2, and thanks for being on, man.
Thanks, Ryan. Take care.
All right. And we will see you all on the next episode.